Hey, welcome back to Historic Investments. Say, if you like Swiss military stuff, you undoubtedly have a collection of P49s. And if you're like me, you say to yourself, hey, I've got 3 of them. I've got a high polish, a transitional, a late matte finish. I got them all. Well, you know something? You are wrong. Let's look at the very elusive, very desirable Eigenesische. I'm not even sure I pronounced it right, but it's a very formal shooting prize given by the Federal Military Department. Let's take a look at the gun. The majority of Swiss collectors would consider this to be the pinnacle of P49 collecting. It's one of the first 9,700 pistols. It's a high polished version with wood serrated grips. You check to make sure it's got the early hammer group, all parts are matching, it's got the correct high polished magazine, and you're good. Well, actually that's not the case. And if you've got that White Vetter book, he actually devotes quite a few pages to these shooting prize pistols. For centuries, Switzerland has prided itself on its marksmanship, and to nobody's surprise, it has encouraged shooting programs, maybe unlike a little bit that in the United States, and it's frequently mixed some of the military competitions with civilian matches. Well, to nobody's surprise, and as part of its encouragement, the Swiss military also gives out pistols as shooting prizes, and they're inscribed in a certain way. There are approximately 10 competitions every year in which a P49 pistol has been awarded, and the pistols themselves are not inscribed to a particular person, but they have the name of the competition and the year of presentation written on the forward part of the frame. So let's take a look at one of those pistols. Now, as you can tell, this is this is actually a mid-production P49, so it's a matte finish gun. It's got more of this grade, almost a Parkerized finish. It's got the later hammer with the half cock. It's got the black plastic grips with a checkering, a matte finish magazine. It's basically a standard gun in every respect until we turn it over and look. Let's take a close-up of this writing here, because this is really the key. So this is a shooting prize that's bestowed by the EMD, which basically translates as the Federal Military Department of Switzerland. Then it gives the name of the specific competition, and this is pistol shooting, and this is in the year 1979. So this is one of approximately 10 guns that were specifically bestowed by the Swiss military to the best shooter in that particular competition in 1979. Standard stock pistols were pulled from inventory, so as mentioned, these guns are kind of normal issue pistols in every respect, except for the engraving that appears at the bottom. The guns were also afterwards deaccessioned, so they'll be marked with a P. And initially, the guns were marked with a P in this portion in the forward trigger guard web, but after 1986, at least in most cases, the P was said to be relocated to the left upper portion of the trigger guard web. It's not clear for how many years these pistols were given as shooting prizes. Examples have been noted as early as 1960 and as late as 1990. So if we make some general assumptions and say approximately 30 years and consider that about 10 a year were awarded, that means about 300 pistols were made and given out as shooting prizes, which actually makes them one of the rarest military pistols extant. As those of you who collect SIG pistols know, there are not a lot of English language guides to collecting SIG pistols. An excellent reference was released last year by Vickers Guide, but as far as SIG P49s is concerned, it covered the main variations, but if you really want something in detail, I would certainly still recommend this German language book written by Vetter. And after discussing the main Swiss military variations, he then has about a 4-page segment on the EMD, in other words, the Federal Military Department pistols. And he goes into a great deal of detail concerning how the guns were marked in terms of when they were how they were deaccessioned. And then he's got several serial range examples. He's got a listing of all of the events. As I said, there were about 10 of them in which the pistols were presented with prizes. And since the guns were given as prizes immediately after the matches, they're not marked with the individual recipient. For that, there's usually a separate piece of paper that should accompany the pistol. Hey guys, thanks once again for tuning in. Listen, hopefully you know a little bit more about that rare federal military Eigenesisches shooting prize. Of course, they scrambled the name, but the important thing is now you know about it. Now you've got something to look for. Good luck, good collecting, and if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. Thanks again.